On February 6, 1579, Pope Gregory XIII issued a papal bull establishing the Diocese of Manila in the Philippines. Domingo de Salazar was appointed as its first bishop. This event marked a significant moment in the spread of Catholicism in Asia. Following the death of his brother, King Charles II, on February 6, 1685, James II ascended to the throne of England and Ireland, and as James VII, to the throne of Scotland. His reign was noted for attempts to promote religious tolerance towards Catholics, which led to tensions with the Protestant establishment and eventually to the Glorious Revolution. On February 6, 1778, during the American Revolutionary War, the United States and France signed the Treaty of Alliance and the Treaty of Amity and Commerce in Paris. These agreements marked France's official recognition of the United States and provided military support against Britain, significantly influencing the outcome of the war. The Battle of San Domingo occurred on February 6, 1806, in the Caribbean Sea near Santo Domingo, now the Dominican Republic. A British Royal Navy squadron defeated a French naval force, thwarting Napoleon's attempts to reinforce the French colonies in the Caribbean. On this date, Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, representing the British East India Company, signed a treaty with Sultan Hussein Shah of Johor and Temenggong Abdul Rahman. This agreement led to the establishment of a British trading post in Singapore, laying the foundation for its development into a major global port and city-state. The American Colonization Society sponsored the departure of the first group of 86 African American immigrants from New York on February 6, 1820. They aimed to establish a settlement in present-day Liberia, West Africa, as part of a movement to resettle free African Americans. After Greece gained independence from the Ottoman Empire, Otto of Bavaria was chosen as the first modern king of Greece on February 6, 1833. His reign faced challenges, including political instability and economic difficulties, leading to his eventual abdication in 1862. On February 6, 1840, representatives of the British Crown and various Maori chiefs signed the Treaty of Waitangi in New Zealand. The treaty is considered the founding document of New Zealand, establishing it as a British colony, though its interpretation has been a subject of ongoing debate. The Virginia Minstrels performed the first full-length minstrel show at the Bowery Amphitheater in New York City on February 6, 1843. Minstrel shows, which featured white performers in blackface, became a popular form of entertainment in the 19th century but are now recognized as perpetuating racist stereotypes. On February 6, 1851, devastating bushfires swept through the state of Victoria in Australia, burning approximately 5 million hectares, 12 million acres, of land. Known as Black Thursday, it remains one of the largest bushfires in Australian history, causing significant loss of life, livestock, and property. On February 6, 1862, Union forces under Brigadier General Ulysses S. Grant and Flag Officer Andrew H. Foote captured Fort Henry in Tennessee, marking the Union's first significant victory of the American Civil War. The fort's strategic location on the Tennessee River provided the Union with a vital waterway into the Confederate heartland. The victory was primarily achieved through a fierce gunboat bombardment, as Grant's infantry arrived too late to see action. The Union suffered 11 killed and 31 wounded, while Confederate losses included 5 killed, 11 wounded, and 78 prisoners. The Treaty of Paris, signed on December 10, 1898, officially ended the Spanish-American War. On February 6, 1899, the United States Senate ratified the treaty by a narrow margin of 1 vote. Under the treaty's terms, Spain ceded control of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines to the United States, marking a significant expansion of U.S. territories. On February 6, 1900, the Senate of the Netherlands ratified a decree from the 1899 Hague Peace Conference, leading to the creation of the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, at The Hague. The PCA was established to facilitate the peaceful resolution of international disputes through arbitration and remains active today as a key institution in international law. The Representation of the People Act 1918 was passed by the British Parliament on February 6, 1918, granting women over the age of 30, who met minimum property qualifications, the right to vote. This landmark legislation enfranchised approximately 8.4 million women and was a significant step toward gender equality in the United Kingdom. Beginning on February 6, 1919, more than 65,000 workers in Seattle, Washington, initiated a 5-day general strike, effectively bringing the city to a standstill. The strike, which was in solidarity with shipyard workers demanding higher wages, was one of the first citywide labor actions in the United States and highlighted the growing strength of organized labor movements. On February 6, 1922, the United States, Britain, Japan, France, and Italy signed the Washington Naval Treaty in Washington, D.C. The treaty aimed to prevent an arms race by limiting naval construction and establishing ratios for warship tonnage among the signatory nations. While initially successful in curbing naval expansion, the treaty's limitations contributed to rising tensions leading up to World War II. On February 6, 1951, the Canadian Army engaged in its first combat operations during the Korean War. Canadian forces played a significant role in several key battles, including the Battle of Kapiing, and contributed to United Nations efforts to repel North Korean and Chinese forces from South Korea. Upon the death of her father, King George VI, on February 6, 1952, Princess Elizabeth ascended to the throne, becoming Queen Elizabeth II. At the exact moment of succession, she was staying at the Treetops Hotel in Kenya. Her reign has since become the longest of any British monarch, marked by significant social and political changes. On February 6, 1958, a plane carrying the Manchester United football team, along with supporters and journalists, crashed during takeoff from Munich Riem Airport in West Germany. The disaster resulted in the deaths of 23 people, including 8 players, and is remembered as a tragic moment in sports history. On February 6, 1959, Jack Kilby of Texas Instruments filed the first patent for an integrated circuit, a revolutionary invention that laid the foundation for modern electronics. Integrated circuits have since become essential components in virtually all electronic devices, driving advancements in computing and technology. At Cape Canaveral, Florida, on February 6, 1959, the United States conducted the first successful test firing of a Titan intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM. The Titan ICBM program was a critical component of the U.S. Strategic Missile Force during the Cold War, enhancing the country's nuclear deterrence capabilities. On February 6, 1976, Lockheed Corporation President Carl Kochian testified before a United States Senate subcommittee, admitting that the company had paid approximately $3 million in bribes to the office of Japanese Prime Minister Kakuei Tanaka. This revelation was part of a larger scandal involving Lockheed's payments to foreign officials to secure contracts, leading to significant political repercussions in Japan and other countries. On February 6, 1981, the National Resistance Army, NRA of Uganda, led by Yoweri Museveni, launched an attack on a Ugandan army installation in the central Mubende district, marking the beginning of the Ugandan Bush War. The conflict lasted until 1986, resulting in the NRA's victory and Museveni's ascent to the presidency, a position he continues to hold. On February 6, 1987, Justice Mary Gaudron was appointed to the High Court of Australia, becoming the first woman to hold this position. Her appointment was a significant milestone in the advancement of women in the Australian legal profession. On February 6, 1989, the round-table talks began in Poland between the government and the opposition, including the Solidarity movement. These negotiations led to significant political reforms, including the legalization of independent trade unions and the holding of semi-free elections, marking the beginning of the end of communism in Eastern Europe. In early February 1996, the Willamette Valley in Oregon, United States, experienced severe flooding due to heavy rainfall and melting snow. The floods caused over $500 million in property damage throughout the Pacific Northwest, leading to widespread evacuations and significant impacts on infrastructure and agriculture. On February 6, 1996, Bergen Air Flight 301, a Boeing 757, crashed into the Atlantic Ocean shortly after takeoff from Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. All 189 people on board were killed, making it the deadliest aviation accident involving a Boeing 757. The crash was attributed to pilot error and mechanical issues, including a blocked pitot tube that provided incorrect airspeed readings. On February 6, 1998, Washington National Airport was officially renamed Ronald Reagan National Airport in honor of the 40th President of the United States. The renaming was authorized by Congress and signed into law by President Bill Clinton, coinciding with Reagan's 87th birthday. On February 6, 2000, during the Second Chechen War, Russian forces captured Grozny, the capital of Chechnya, after a prolonged siege. The fall of Grozny forced the separatist Chechen Republic of Ichkeria government into exile and marked a turning point in the conflict, leading to increased Russian control over the region. On February 6, 2006, Stephen Harper was sworn in as the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada, leading a minority Conservative government. Harper's tenure lasted until 2015, during which he implemented various economic and foreign policies, including tax cuts and a focus on Arctic sovereignty. On February 6, 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, a super heavy lift launch vehicle, made its maiden flight from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket carried a Tesla Roadster owned by SpaceX CEO Elon Musk as a dummy payload, which was sent into an orbit around the Sun. The successful launch demonstrated the capabilities of the Falcon Heavy and marked a significant milestone in private space exploration. On February 6, 2023, two powerful earthquakes, measuring 7.8 and 7.5 in magnitude, struck near the border between Turkey and Syria. The quakes caused widespread destruction and numerous aftershocks, resulting in a death toll of over 57,000 people. The disaster prompted international humanitarian responses and highlighted the seismic vulnerability of the region.